Hi, everybody. How are you doing? Hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone is off to a really great start. I'm sorry I'm late. And I'm sorry I'm going to switch up the topic on you today. I really wanted to continue our discussion on contracts, but I'm getting a lot of consultations and requests for green cards. And I want to make sure that if you're interested in the green card or if you're interested in the EB-1A based on extraordinary ability, that you set up the right foundation for yourself. So I'm extremely passionate about this because I work on cases all the time of clients who have been improperly advised, are afraid to ask strategy from their attorneys. So I really just want to talk about this because this week we just had a flood of consultations for green cards. And I want to give you 3 tips to make sure that you're beginning your EB-1A, your green card journey on the right foot. Here in my firm, everyone knows we have a very strategic and scientific approach to our cases, and that's what makes our cases successful. So I'm going to give you these 3 tips. And it doesn't matter where you are in your green card journey or in your career. These are 3 tips that you can implement right away. So tip number 1 is you should definitely consult with an attorney and have what I call in my firm a strategy session. Now, this is extremely important because you need to get the professional opinion of somebody who's experienced in the field. This is really, again, we're talking high stakes. This is not about, oh, my friend did it, my friend didn't do it. This is really about making sure that you have the proper qualifications to qualify for the EB-1A, the green card based on extraordinary ability. That strategy session is exactly what I'm saying it is. It is a strategy session. It is the opportunity to talk to somebody about the individual requirements, to discuss your potential portfolio, to discuss current trends in the law. You really need to have this strategy session so you can understand where you fit the context of immigration, your career, the federal regulations, etc. Without this firm foundation, this starting point to really orient yourself and navigate properly, you're going to be lost. And again, there are people who try to do it on their own. There are people who go maybe to attorneys who might not have that much experience, and that's fine. You are where you are in life, but it's critical, especially in this current administration where the spirit is to deny cases, where these officers unfortunately do not have the background to really understand, nor the time, nor the tools, nor the training. It is critical that you have a strategy session and that you position yourself in the proper way so that you can orient yourself and navigate yourself in a successful way. So that's the first step, your strategy session. And I would add, like as a mini step, you want to develop your questions beforehand. You want to be prepared, you want to be engaged with your attorney, and you really want to make the best out of this strategy session because you might not go back to an attorney for another year. So you want to make sure that you understand the nuances, the intricacies, and that you're having an engaged discussion. Tip number 2, I want you to take your CV, I want you to look at it, and I want you to ask yourself, am I an expert in my field? Am I the top of my field? You really need to ask yourself these questions, and you really need to be honest because you know what? The attorney is going to ask you that. And you know what? USCIS is going to ask themselves that when they're reviewing your petition. So if your CV or your resume is not diverse in terms of your achievements, your accomplishments, the different opportunities that you've been able to garner in your career, the different speeches, panels, talks you've given, or if that is non-existent, then the answer to that question is probably a hard no, which is why that strategy session before you ask yourself if you were an expert is really critical. Because after you've asked those questions, you're empowered to really know the context of the EB-1A and the green card so that once you get to step 2 and you ask yourself, am I an expert or have I done everything in my career to position me as someone who's at the pinnacle of my field, you really know where your deficiencies are going to lie. And I know that I'm very passionate and excited about this, but I'm really concerned about the number of people who believe or have been told that they're qualified when in fact they have a pretty weak case. Like as I've said multiple times, maybe certain applicants could satisfy the first part of the analysis, which is the 3-part criteria, but the second part of the analysis, which is what we call the Kazarian analysis, is extremely nuanced, a little bit complex, and unfortunately a little bit circular. So there are some people who have been told that they qualify, and unfortunately, I believe, based on my experience and based on the trends, that they don't. So I really want you guys to have these tools to be empowered so that when you're having these discussions and when you're engaging with your attorney and when you're engaging with yourself, you really have those honest answers to position yourself properly. So after you've asked yourself those questions, you're looking at your CV, you're analyzing your work, and you see that, maybe you're not at the pinnacle of your field, maybe you're not the top percentage of your field, then I'm going to bring you to step 3, and I'm going to borrow this from our friend Nike. Those of you who know me, I always borrow things or take example from leaders in the field. So we're going to borrow this from Nike. Just do it. If you do not have any judging on your CV, you've got to just do it. And you've got to figure out creative ways where you can utilize and put your expertise in practice. And one thing that you can do is you can reach out to your university, because you're most likely an alumnus and alumni, and ask if you can judge a course or a panel. Whatever it is, you need to figure out those different strategies so that those deficiencies that you saw when you were analyzing your CV or your resumes are eliminated. If you are a fine artist and you don't have that many solo shows, or maybe your CV is just inundated with group shows, then you're going to want to showcase your work. And again, that's going to satisfy the exhibition criterion of the EB-1A. So that's why that first conversation with the attorney is really, really important. So you might say, well, actually, I don't know where to exhibit my work. I don't know where to go, or I don't know what to do. You've got to be creative. So you can do pop-up shows, you can do online exhibitions, you can organize an exhibition in your home. There are a number of ideas that you can implement. I have a ton of ideas, and we're going to talk about this later today. We're going to talk about the marketing plan of yourself. And I always tell clients, like, listen, you're getting brownie points for this marketing plan, because not only are we satisfying the regulatory criteria, but you are also implementing this in your career. It's a no-brainer. It's a win-win for immigration, and it's a win-win for your career. That's why it's so important to really look at this and approach this strategically with tact. As I always tell my staff or people who know me, play the game to win. I say this all the time, play the game to win. We know what if you're working with someone who's experienced and who's an attorney, we know what they're looking for. We know how to position it. We just need to communicate it to you in a way that's effective. And you really need to work with somebody who understands the nuances of the EB-1A, who understands your field or the fields that you work in, and number 2, who's really, really, really going to push you to give your best good faith effort at securing an approval, number 1, and implementing this so that you can position yourself at the top of your field. So I'm super passionate about this, very excited about this topic because it's high stakes. And I don't want potential clients or people who are in their immigration journey or people who are just watching this video to be misinformed, especially in a time where information is key, where being empowered and seeking information is probably what's going to help you pivot. So share this video, like this video, watch this video, and stay tuned for today at 4 p.m. where we're going to talk about developing a marketing plan for yourself. I'll see you later today, and if you have any additional questions, just let me know and I'll be happy to answer them. Bye, everybody.